Hey guys, PokéDan here. Last year I made a video talking about some stereotypical Canadian Pokemon and some stereotypical American Pokemon with my friend Hybrid Hero. And it's been a while since I've tackled any topic like this, and with Eurovision just being a few weeks ago, I thought, hey, why not make the top 10 stereotypical European Pokemon? If you guys didn't know, the continent of Europe is made up of 50 different countries, and since this is a top 10, I obviously can't discuss every stereotype for each country. So apologies if there's a certain country that I didn't mention on this list. Besides, I'm sure you guys will inform me that I forgot to include a country down in the comments anyway. Also remember that each entry on the video is made down to stereotypes, and a stereotype is a widely known image or idea about something. Like in this scenario, that something is a country. Also note that some stereotypes in this video aren't too nice, so don't be too offended because this video is just for fun. And because not all stereotypes are true anyway. And also guys, take a note that I haven't really ranked these countries because none is exactly better than the other. But with all that being said, let's get started. At the number 10 spot in this video, we're taking a trip to Poland. A popular stereotype for the country of Poland is that all Polish people never smile and that they complain a lot. Now whether this is true or not, I don't know and I can't say is real, but nevertheless it's still a stereotype that's connected to Poland. When attaching a Pokemon to each stereotype, some were easy and some were not, and this stereotype was certainly one of the harder ones. So hard that in fact I had to take to Twitter to ask my followers, and they gave me some Pokemon that really fit the theme of looking as though they would complain a lot and never smile. One of my favourites is actually given to me by my friend Carlos' Pokemon, and the Pokemon he suggested was Shroomish. Like Carlos, I also feel like Shroomish would be a Pokemon that would complain and never smile. I mean, its official art even shows it looking peed off. So because of that, Shroomish had to fit the stereotype for Poland. Now, not that I think all Polish people never smile, but Shroomish really does fit the stereotype for this. Up next on the list is the country of Norway, and the stereotype for Norway is that every Norwegian likes to climb mountains and ski because the mountains there are huge. In fact, I did a bit of research and the biggest mountain in Norway is Galdhøpiggen, sorry if I mispronounced that, and that mountain is also 2,469 meters tall, which is actually the equivalent of around 563 double-decker buses. Anyway, the Pokemon I've chosen to fit Norway's given stereotype is Avalugg. I know Avalugg is actually an iceberg and not a mountain, but it's the closest thing we have to a cold, icy mountain Pokemon. Avalugg isn't quite the same height as Norway's largest mountain. It's only about 6.5 feet tall, or 2 meters, so it's small compared to Galdhøpiggen. Avalugg is just the perfect Pokemon to fit this Norwegian stereotype. At number 8, and the next European country is Romania. Now most of us will probably know about Romania after learning about the Roman Empire in school, but that's not the only stereotype that's connected to Romania, but instead, the stereotype for Romania on this list is that the country is full of vampires, because it's the home of Dracula. Now me personally, I really love anything to do with the supernatural. Anything to do with ghosts, werewolves and vampires, and I'm an instant fan of it, I'm all over it. So I was quite happy to put Romania on this list. The Pokemon I feel best represents a vampire is the Pokemon Gliscor. Gliscor's design shows it having some sharp fangs and a black like cape. And if that doesn't scream vampire, I don't know what does. Like I said, I love vampires, and I guess that's one of the reasons why Gliscor is one of my favourite Pokemon too. Romania, you have one awesome stereotype, because vampires are pretty freaking cool. Coming in next on this list is Sweden. Personally, whenever I think of Sweden, I think PewDiePie because I love his videos, but of course I can't speak for everyone there. But the overall stereotype for this country is that all Swedish people are tall and that they also have blonde hair too. Now, there aren't really any tall and blonde Pokemon that exist, so the next best thing I guess is just a blonde Pokemon. And we have quite a few of those, so I chose 2 to represent the lot, being Jinx and Crabrawler. Now honestly, I think Jinx is just really iconic for its blonde hair. I mean, I know it had some controversy regarding its skin color many years ago, but still, it does have blonde hair. As for Crabrawler, it's not that well known for its blonde colored hair, but I had to mention it because its hair looks freaking awesome. Crabrawler and Jinx both have that glistening yellow hair, so for that they had to represent the Swedish stereotype. The next country we're going to be talking about in this list is the country of Greece. Not that I agree, but the stereotype of Greece is that all Greek people are hairy and loud. Now when I think of loud, the Pokemon that instantly pops in my head is the Pokemon Exploud. But when I also think of a Pokemon to fit the hairy stereotype too, the first Pokemon I thought of was Electivire. And I mean, I guess Electivire also looks like it'd be a pretty loud Pokemon too. Like I said, this isn't a stereotype that I really think is true because I doubt that every single Greek person is loud and hairy, but it is still the stereotype. Greece is such an amazing country that's well known for the Olympic Games, democracy, and philosophy. But hey, if they're all hairy, and I mean, who am I to judge? But Electivire fits the stereotype so well that it had to get the mention. Hola amigos slash bambinos, if you haven't guessed already, we're taking a trip to the European country of Spain. Now almost every year I take a holiday to Spain with my family, so this is a country that I rather like. Spain is a country well known for its flamenco dancing and bullfighting, and I mean, the Pokéref is part Spanish too, so it has to be great. For Spain, we actually have two Pokemon, being one to represent flamenco dancing, which is Oricorio ballet form, and one to represent bullfighting, being the obvious choice Tauros. I imagine that if there was ever a Pokemon region based on Spain, both of these Pokemon would be native to that region due to the obvious stereotypes they represent. Also, just want to mention that I've actually seen bullfighting when I was in Spain, and I personally felt like it was so thrilling to watch. Spain is an absolutely great country, and wow, this stereotype wasn't the least bit offensive. I'm pretty proud of that. Good on me. It's me, Mario, and the country at the number 4 spot is Italy. Italy is known for pizza, ice cream, pasta, and other marvelous foods, but the main stereotype for Italy isn't actually anything to do with food. But the stereotype for Italy is that all men there are romantic. Aw, isn't that a sweet stereotype? But what Pokemon could possibly represent this stereotype though? Well, this was one of the more difficult entries to attach a Pokemon to, but in the end, I settled for the courting Pokemon Swoobat, that was actually suggested by my friend Ozimitsu. Kids, if you don't know what courting means, it basically means to be involved with someone romantically, or let me put it in terms you may understand. Let's have the talk. When a daddy and a mummy like each other, they out. Oh yeah. And kids, that's how I met your mother. But all jokes aside, Swoobat is the perfect Pokemon to represent this stereotype just by its classification as the courting Pokemon alone. Italy is at the number 4 spot, but that's it for this country, so Chin Chow. Yeah, that was bad. The next European country we're going to be talking about has actually already been made into a Pokemon region. It's of course France. As we all know, Kalos is based on France, and in that region we also got many French themed Pokemon such as Slurpuff and Furfrou. But none of the Kalos Pokemon actually represent the country of France in this video, because today I'm going to go for a different stereotype. Whenever I think of France, I think of those weird and at times creepy mimes. So the Pokemon that best represents the mime is obviously Mr. Mime. Now, I don't care what any of you say, Mr. Mime is an awesome Pokemon and it's cool, so if you think otherwise, shut up. There are lots of other Pokemon that I could have had for the French stereotype, like Furfrou, cause poodles, but again, I didn't want to put a Kalos Pokemon for France because, I don't know, that'd be too obvious. France is a beautiful country, I know that from X and Y, so I'm just glad that there aren't really any bad stereotypes. Well, apart from the one about French people being rude, but I'm gonna overlook that. Guten Tag everyone, at the number 2 spot on this list is Germany. When researching this video, I was actually surprised that Germany didn't have as many stereotypes attached to it. I thought there would be more for such a, well, historical country, but the main stereotype I found for Germany is that all German people apparently eat lots of sausages, so I had to choose a pig Pokemon to represent, well, the sausages, and that Pokemon is Tepig. Before I go into my explanation for Tepig, I just want you guys to know that when I was younger, I actually thought that all German people were small and fat. This was because of Uta from The Simpsons, but they obviously aren't. Yeah, that was such a dumb thing for me to think when I was younger, I know. But anyway, back to Tepig. With Tepig being so small, you'd have to kill a lot of them to get a decent portion of Pokemon sausages, but still, I bet they are really tasty. Ash Ketchum from the Pokemon anime actually owned a Tepig that evolved into a Pig Knight, and we all know why he was so happy when it evolved. It was because that pig got fattened up, so there was more for him to eat. I mean, that's why we haven't seen Pignet since the Unova anime really, isn't it? I like the Tepic evolution line, I like Germany, I like sausages, there just aren't any negatives for this point, so let's move on. And the country at the final spot of this list is the United Kingdom. Yep, I'm from the UK, and let me just say that at times it's great, but when it rains here, it rains a lot. And we are known for our bad weather, however, us Brits are also known for something else, our drinking. Yeah, a stereotype of the UK is that we all love to go down to the pub and get pissed. And this is true for some people, but not everyone of course. But anyway, the Pokemon I think best represents drinking is Spinder. Now of course, Spinder isn't known for consuming a lot of alcohol. However, the way it moves in-game and even its design, Spinder just looks like it's drunk 24/7. I love living in the UK. It's great to live here and I feel lucky to be born here too, but let's face it fellow Brits watching this video, we are known for our drinking. Personally, I couldn't think of any other Pokemon besides Spinder to best represent this stereotype. So if you do, be sure to let me know. But anyway guys, that's it for this video, so if you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. Also guys, remember that this video was not meant to offend, so I hope you did take it with a pinch of salt. And also guys, be sure to let me know anything I did miss in the video down in the comments. Besides from that, in the iCard you can also check out the videos from last year about Canada and America too. But the Canada video is one of my older videos, so it's not as good in quality. But with all that being said, for now, I've been PokéDan, you've been amazing, and I'll see you guys next time.